I feel like I just want to go into a spiel here. Welcome to the first edition of Weave and Wine. Today we'll be talking about ending the de minimis exemption in the United States. What is the de minimis exemption and what does it mean for you as a customer? In the United States, the de minimis exemption allows Americans to import up to $800 worth of goods duty-free. This means they pay no tariffs on the things they order online from other countries. Think marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, and Amazon, but also AliExpress, Shein, and Temu. This exemption has already been eliminated for China and Hong Kong, which means that each time a package arrives in the United States, tariffs must be paid in order for that item to enter the country. Some of you may have noticed that shipping charges have already gone up considerably to compensate for that additional expense. The de minimis exemption remains in place for other countries such as the UK and Canada. However, that is about to change. On July 30th, President Donald Trump signed an executive order ending the de minimis exemption worldwide. This means that all commercial goods entering the United States will now be taxed. As you may be aware, the tariff rate for Canada stands at 35%. And due to the effects of tariff stacking, some goods may cost even more to import. I'm a Canadian business selling worldwide, but primarily to the US market. So what do? Thankfully, there is a solution, albeit a temporary one. It's called CUSMA, otherwise known as the Canada-US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement. You may also hear the acronym USMCA. It's the same thing. Goods covered by that agreement should continue to enter the United States tariff-free. However, there are strict eligibility requirements for that duty-free treatment. There must be a significant North American contribution to your product. It matters where it's made, and it matters what it's made from and where those materials come from. For instance, I couldn't buy a bunch of chains and charms from China, put the charm on a chain, and sell that necklace as a made in Canada product. There is insufficient Canadian contribution to this final product to make it eligible for duty-free treatment under the USMCA. However, my goods require a lot of labor to produce, and that labor is completely 100% Canadian. All of the wire wrapping, all of the electronics, all of the resin work that I do, that's all done here in Toronto. That's Canadian. Furthermore, the most common material I use in my work is wire. This wire comes from an American manufacturer. I am already inserting extra documentation into my packages stating clearly the country of origin, and that country of origin is Canada. Everything has a Made in Canada sticker on it. I can say that because the Canadian contribution makes up the bulk of the value in everything that I make, and that is what makes it eligible for duty-free treatment under CUSMA. So what does that mean for you as an American customer? Well, for now, nothing changes. De minimis is still in effect. It will remain in effect until August 29th of this year. So anything that reaches US Customs before that date will be completely unaffected by this thing. So right now you can buy whatever you want. In fact, I've just added a few sweeteners to my Etsy shop just for my American and Canadian customers. So if you want to do your shopping early and avoid the chaos completely, I would strongly encourage that because we have no idea what's going to happen. The American public is not being informed about this at all. Most have never had to pay a tariff. They have no idea what it is. They would be shocked to get a tariff bill in their mailbox instead of the item that they order. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that that doesn't happen and everything continues as normal. I can't promise that it will, but I am doing my best. So I'm currently working with my US courier to figure out what kind of documentation I need to have on the outsides of all of my packages, on those little cellophane envelopes, to ensure that it is treated with duty-free status and enters the United States without any muss or fuss or delays or anything else. I'm expecting there will be a lot of delays for a while because the public is not being educated. I'm not seeing any PSAs. The media coverage on this issue is sparse. People have no idea what's coming. But at the moment, I think a lot of shoppers are freaked out and afraid to buy from sellers outside the country like myself, even if we are American citizens and using American-made materials. Just know that some of us will be eligible under CUSMA. I believe I'm one of those people. And I'm just trying to get the documentation in order. So as soon as I know for certain that my shipments are being processed correctly as duty-free, I will post an additional announcement. For the time being, I am planning that my last shipment before this changeover is going to be on August 26th. So anything you order before August 25th, first of all, I've got those sweeteners in my Etsy shop. And second of all, you're avoiding the chaos. Everything is fine right now. So if you want to buy now, now's a good time. Otherwise, we're rolling the dice a bit to see if CUSMA is going to be honored the way it's supposed to be, or if that completely falls apart because CBP is overwhelmed. Let's remember who's actually responsible for ending the de minimis exemption. It is not CBP. It is not the couriers or the postal services or anybody else here. It isn't even the American consumer. It is President Trump. So I'd say if you're unhappy about this, please let him know. Otherwise, I will do my best to work with it. And thank you so much for your support and patronage over the years. I sincerely appreciate it, and I hope I can continue to serve the American market just as I always have. Thank you so much for listening.